bitches want some deja vu, Darren excluded.
Sure.
It reminds me of comic books, I'll say it again, just because where you've got a different creative team, different directions occurring on books that have been around a long time, and there's the same guys on the message board. Maybe Jeff is able to give us an approximation of how they sound, but the first thing they hear, they do when they hear that whatever team that they're used to or whichever artist they love so much isn't doing their book. And I do this too,
Sure.
Ultimates, it's like Brian Hitch and Mark Millar are not doing it anymore. Fuck that shit. Ain't touching it. And it's the same thing with SimCity. But other times, you get this new team on, you're like, wow, who would have thought to have done this? This is actually better than
that can
the last.
Was this part of last week's when I was out?
Right. It was, but I think it's appropriate.
It's still relevant. I agree,
and it's relevant for I don't know how many other media does that analogy work for? I guess different writer. I mean, some people you'd have to be a really
writers on
fan.
movies, I guess. Or?
But for directors on movies is great, especially.
I'll give you a great one.
Sequels.
I'll give you a great TV one. Gilmore Girls. You had, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to turn in my man card on this one.
I knew you were going to say
I don't even know what that is, but the name is Gilmore Girls.
I'm sorry. There's people who listening here who are going to back me up. That show ruled.
Partying on the streets, we got our fake tits and we're ready to roll.
No, the theme song's actually done by Carole King.
Okay.
Jerk.
I have seen a couple episodes, and I will concede it is not what I thought based on the title.
Exactly. It's not Golden Girls.
It's
not like B. Arthur with a laugh track.
But, isn't it, for some reason, I'm thinking it's like the equivalent of, 30-something Golden Girls, but in Orange County. So
No.
All of them have got, counterfeit mams and stuff.
It's so witty it threatened to topple in on itself.
It's a mom and her daughter, and the dialogue... the show's over now, was incredibly sharp and fast. It was written by mostly by this one writer, Amy Sherman Palladino, who actually cut her teeth on Roseanne back in the day. She and her husband, they basically shepherded the show for years and years, and it had very much had the pace of like a screwball comedy of the 30s, where everybody's talking super fast and the cultural references were flying left and right, and you would have to listen multiple times to get it all. But anyway, the point is...
Just like SimCity.
Just like SimCity. Yeah, this is why this is so relevant. The point is...
It's so pretending I'm
listening.
She
did this... I know you're not listening. For those listening, the point is, they did this show for 6 seasons, and it was basically their show. And then there was a contract dispute, and Amy Sherman Palladino left. She said, screw it, I created the show, it's my show, but I'm out. I'm not doing it anymore. But the show stayed on the air for one more year. And so you had this whole year of fans going like, oh, my God, the show so should have died because the whole tone is gone because there's a different writer now. New writers came in, and they tried to keep the Gilmore Girls thing going, the mystique, that whole thing. But everybody like me, who sadly I've seen every single episode of every season, could really tell the difference in the tenor of the dialogue. And I was among the people going like, why didn't they cancel this last year? Rory would never talk this way. How could he would never be her boyfriend last year.
I need to video that.
Yeah. So that was an example of a franchise that was taken away from its original people and it got fucked up. And now it's canceled. Right. And I'm happy. It's like, okay, now we can all pretend that episode of Gilmore Girls never existed.
I thought you were going to bring this back and say, but it turned out to be awesome anyway in a different way.
No, actually, it sucked.
Okay, it still sucks.
Yeah, no. So that's the lesson here.
So thanks.
It works both ways then, is what we're saying.